If you want to play at 1440p ultra settings and you want a PC build that has no bottlenecks, is capable of 240 plus FPS on average, and also that is upgradable over time, this video is going to be for you. I will show you the best RX 7900 GRE gaming PC build, and I will also give you my opinion on this GPU and whether or not you have better options in the market. All the links to these PC components and more GPUs will be down below in the video description. With that being said, let's start. For the CPU, we have the Ryzen 5 7600. This is a very power efficient CPU from the AM5 platform that is going to be very upgradable over time, and you can actually pair it with most GPUs in the market without creating a bottleneck. Very fast in terms of performance, and if you want to play high CPU demanding titles, for example, let's say you want to play Fortnite in competitive settings at 1080p, you will be able to achieve 300 plus FPS on average. At the moment, this CPU is going for 240 bucks, which is a bit more expensive than it used to be, so maybe when you are watching this video, you find it at a cheaper price. Then for the CPU cooler, we have the ID Cooling SE214XT just for $18, and it's going to be plenty of cooling for our Ryzen 5 because, as I said before, it's really power efficient, so it doesn't need a big cooler. Then for the motherboard, we have the MSI Pro B650MP Micro ATX motherboard. This is from the AM5 platform, of course, and it has all the essentials for gaming. Yes, you can get better motherboards with more features, but if you're looking for a gaming PC, this one fits the requirements and you will not need more than this. For the memory kit, we have the Silicon Power Value 32 gigs of DDR5 memory kit. This one is DDR5 and runs at 6000 MHz with CL30 timings, which means that it's going to be very fast, and 32 gigs of RAM is going to be amazing not only for gaming, but also for other tasks such as streaming, content creation, and productivity work. Then for the storage, we have a 1TB Gen 4 SSD in the Crucial P3 Plus going for $63, and if you ever need more storage down the line because you want to download a bunch of heavy titles or you just need more storage, then you can always add one more SSD since you have one more M.2 slot in your motherboard. Then for the graphics card, of course, we have the RX 7900 GRE. Now this one is a weird GPU in my opinion. It's going for $550 and it's going to give you about 6 to 10% faster performance than the RX 7800 XT, costing you $50 to $60 more depending on how much the 7800 XT is when you are watching this video. Do not get me wrong though, you are getting an excellent 1440p gaming performance. In fact, on the latest test from Hardware Unboxed, the 7900 GRE was able to average 105 FPS on a 1440p ultra settings test where very high demanding titles were tested. So 105 FPS is a very high number considering the type of games and type of graphic settings that were tested. So if you want a 1440p ultra gaming performance, this is a great GPU. However, the 7800C was able to average 99 FPS on that same test, which is a very similar performance, in fact almost the same, and the 4070 Super was able to average 108 FPS, which once again very similar performance to the GRE. Then at 4K on the same test, the 7900 GRE and the RTX 4070 Super were able to average 60 FPS, and remember, this is rasterized performance without any upscaler on, such as DLSS or FSR for AMD, and the 7800 XT was able to average 57 FPS, so basically the same performance. So should you buy the RX 7900 GRE or RTX 4070 Super? In my opinion, it's not as straightforward as you think. If you want the best price to performance in terms of rasterized performance, then I believe the RX 7800 XT is your best option. Since you are spending $500 USD, which is the cheapest out of the three, you are still getting amazing 1440p performance and you still get 16 gigs of VRAM. If you care about, for example, ray tracing, there's no debate, you should get the RTX 4070 Super, as the 4070 Super is a much faster GPU when it comes to games with ray tracing enabled. And if you're going to be using an upscaler such as FSR or DLSS, then I highly recommend you getting the 4070 Super because DLSS has the better image quality over FSR, especially if you're going to upgrade to 4K down the line, where DLSS becomes a more important factor in these GPUs. And then if you really care about VRAM, because maybe the games that you play require more than 12 gigs of VRAM on these settings that you want to play, then the 7800 XT or 7900 GRE are both good options. However, keep in mind that the vast majority of games do not require more than 12 gigs of VRAM, especially at 1440p, but it might change down the line in the future we just don't know when. I will give you a simpler conclusion if you got lost in a second, but before doing that, I want to show you the case in the Deepcool CC360 ARGB Micro ATX Mini Tower case. This one is just $55. In my opinion, it looks amazing, has very good airflow, and it comes with 3 pre-installed fans, so you do not have to spend more money on more fans. If you do not like the aesthetic of this case for some reason, I will leave an alternative in the video description for different cases and different prices. And last but not least, for the power supply, we have the EVGA Supernova 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply. This one is going for $65. It's V-tier rated, so very good quality for this type of build, and it's going to get the job done. The total price for this system is $1,200 if you decide to go with the 7900 GRE. And maybe when you are watching this, the price is different, so I highly recommend you checking the links down below in the description for the latest prices. Anyway, here you are getting amazing 1440p gaming performance no matter the GPU that you pick, and you can play at 1440p 240 plus FPS on average in esports titles and 1440p 100 plus FPS on average on high demanding titles, high to ultra settings, of course depending on the game and the graphic settings. And then you also get a very decent 4K performance, especially if you are going to be using the upscaler technology or you're not going to play very high demanding titles. So for $1,200 you are getting a great system that I do recommend buying. But to give you a conclusion on which GPU should you buy, well, if you care about the Nvidia technologies and ray tracing, get the 4070 Super. It's also the most power efficient out of the three. And then if you want rasterized performance and you want the best price performance, meaning that you want to save money, get the 7800 XT. I would only consider the 7900 GRE if you want a slightly faster performance than the 7800 XT and you know that you are not going to buy the 4070 Super. Anyway, I will leave these 3 GPUs in the description as well, and if you want to see the best PC build for every budget and every resolution, I highly recommend you watching my video on the best PC builds of the month for every budget and every resolution, where I go over 1080p, 1440p and 4K resolution, explaining the level of performance that you get with each PC. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.